All right, let's jump into this trade history for the Alex Newhook, which just happened. So the Montreal Canadiens traded for Alex Newhook's negotiation rights as an RFA. He was expected to get a contract from Colorado, but they decided to move him instead. You can see right here. So Montreal Canadiens pick up Alex Newhook, sending over AHLer / prospect Giovanni Fairbrother, and a first-round pick as well as a second-round pick. By the way, this is Florida. You can see Florida's first-round pick and then Montreal's second-round pick. So I think that is a great pickup for the I think it's a good trade both ways, right? Because we knew that Colorado Avalanche were not planning on signing him, or that if they were going to, they were wanting to try to get him cheap. They're really looking at center depth, but their center depth, they just traded for Johansson, so Newhook is kind of going to be in that third line center spot, but he's gonna be like, hey, why would I want to be here? I'm not gonna get the time. There's too much of a log jam, and Johansson's got a lot of term, right? And then you have McKinnon, who's a first line center, so Newhook's like, man, he's not gonna get an opportunity to play there, right? So I think it's a great idea especially since Montreal was looking at getting PLD, so Pierre-Luc Dubois. So since they're not in that deal with by the way, I will do a video on that, Pierre-Luc Dubois going to the LA Kings. But since they're not getting that, they're like, hey, we'll get a different option and get Newhook. So he does need to get signed, and he has not signed a deal yet. But that's the plan that they're trading for this RFA rights, and they do have to sign him by Saturday too. So they have to get this contract done pretty quickly, along with the draft on Wednesday and draft on Thursday. So we'll see if they can get a deal done. I'm sure they can, because that's a pretty penny to send out a first round and a second round draft pick, right? It's a high number second round draft pick, and that's a first round draft pick. This first round is supposed to be amazing, right? And then of course this is probably more of sending Giovanni Fairbrother as just a contract just for the Montreal Canadiens to move just to free up a contract space. But let's go over Alex Newhook and why they traded for him, right? So you're looking at 16th overall, so it's pretty mid round draft pick, so not too bad. A little small for a set. Well, I mean he's really small, 5'10". 190 pounds, still young though, 22 years old. You can see he played, he's got back and forth between the Colorado Eagles and the Avalanche most of the last couple of years. Played all 82 games though last year, getting 30 points in 14 games. Probably more of a reduced role though. I mean, like I said, he's probably playing, I think they anticipated him being a second line center. I know he played third line center around behind Kadri. I think we're going to see a JT Compher signing, by the way, by the Avalanche as well. But I just think it's just the smart move, because they're going to have to pay him like $3, $4, $5 million. Probably more closer to $3 or $4 million at a couple of years, and they just don't have the cap space. If we can actually jump over to the Colorado Avalanche's cap friendly page, you can see they're projected this up and coming year. They have $8.5 million. So they have a lot of signings though, because they have a lot of UFAs. They have to make sure they figure that out. LTIR is going to be a little bit tricky with the Landeskog injury. But again, if you're thinking you're going to allocate $3 to $4 million, I mean that's a good chunk of your cap space that you're not going to be able to take on, that you're going to be able to use in free agency to be able to pick up players and fill out your roster. So, lastly, let's go to the other part of the trade. Like I said, we got Alex Newhook going to the Montreal Canadiens, and we have Giovanni Fairbrother. Let's show over his stats real quick just to check out. So, same draft as Alex Newhook, but in the third round by the Montreal Canadiens, 77th overall. Defenseman, 6 foot, 204 pounds, shoots left, so that's always ideal. We like those types of defensemen. You can see mostly played juniors, and this is where I think this is more of a contract move, like I was just saying. So you can see that he's in the same year. I mean, he's 4 years out from his draft. So you're looking at this. His draft plus 4, so he hasn't really been panning out as well as you would like him to. You can see right here, he's got 36 points, 64 games, so at a half point per game. Mind you, this is juniors, and he was in his, it's going 1, 2, 3, third regular season in the juniors, and in the fourth season, and by the way, he's juniors, right? So this is playing against guys who are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, and in juniors getting, just not putting up the points that you would like to see from him. 25 points in 37 games. Again, he's a defenseman, so take that with a grain of salt. 17 points in 23 games. Playing with Laval Rock, he got a point in 3 games. 7 points in 25. Again, probably in a reduced role. So hopefully they can figure out something with them. But he is an RFA. Let's check. Yep, you can see right here, he's an RFA. My bad. So he is an RFA till 23-24. So they will, if they want to keep him, they'll have to sign him. If not, they'll just let him go to free agency. Again, I think it was more of just a contract move for Colorado. So, anyways, that's my thoughts real quick. I think it's a great move for the Colorado Avalanche to get all those picks. I mean, I actually don't even know if they'll keep them. I think they're going to let Giovanni just go. I think they'll let him just, not sign him because I don't think he's worth, to my opinion, based on the stats that I'm seeing right now, and a Stanley Cup contender, he's just not worth it at this point. I think the first round pick they're going to definitely trade, and the second round pick they might end up using. But I think that it's smart for them to just kind of get some assets, recoup some assets, maybe move out some bad money. I know they're looking to move out Girard as well. In my opinion, for Alex Newhook for the Montreal Canadiens, I do think they overpaid, but I think that they kind of had to because PLD. Everyone knew they were looking for a center. And PLD was not available to them, so I think they were saying, when they talked to Colorado, they said, "Hey, no, we want one of those first round draft picks," so they could ask for that. So I think it was a great trade to the Colorado Avalanche. I think it was more. If I had to give it a grade, I'd say like a B plus, A minus, because mind you, Alex Newhook, they weren't going to sign him, right? So it's just the negotiation rights as well. So he could walk, by the way. So it's a big risk. I'm sure the Canadiens are going to sign him, but he could walk theoretically. He doesn't have a lot of rights as an RFA, but he could walk. But I think there's a huge price to pay. I don't know if it's unreasonable, but it's a big price to pay for a guy when you already have Kirby Dach and you already have Nick Suzuki. So you could always move one of those centers out to the wing because that's what Newhook plays. But we'll see how it works out. So let me know what your thoughts are, and hit like, subscribe, and love you.